Hey there, I'm Kelly Sienkowski, and today in the spotlight we've got a new friend, Clint Novak, who has opened the new Planet Novak arcade in the Spotsylvania Towne Centre Mall. Clint, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
Good. Can you tell us a little bit about you? What were you doing before you got into the arcade world?
I've lived in the Fredericksburg area since 2003. I moved here from Minnesota to join B101.5 as the evening talent. I was a 7 to midnight guy for 3 years there. When I left there, I went into the bar scene, karaoke, doing all of that, and then made my way into the general manager role of Funland of Fredericksburg. And so I worked there for 8 years, transforming what was kind of a rundown 90s arcade into one of the best breakout FECs in 2023. And that's when I left Funland of Fredericksburg. I went into a role in the amusement industry where I was kind of on the vendor side, but I always loved that operational aspect of the industry. And so this idea of a claw room arcade has kind of been making its way over from Asian markets, Japan, China, into the US. And as I was doing all of my traveling for ANA Global, I was seeing these pop up like in Portland, Florida, California, and I was like, it would be really cool if we could bring that concept to Fredericksburg. And so me and my business partner Nate got together, hatched out the idea, got with the Spotsylvania Mall, and we opened November 1st, Planet Novak. We actually opened as Cosmic Clawcade, and then very quickly changed our name over to Planet Novak.
And your location is interesting because you're in a really hot spot for families. I have young kids, so we've been over at the what do we call that? The playground sort of
Yep, yep.
runaround area. You're in
Sure.
between that and Costco. So you probably have a lot of high traffic in that area.
Yeah, well, and it's we're not the only, I would say, kid-friendly environment in that area of the mall. We've got Build-A-Bear right across from us. We've got Oshkosh Clothing very close by. So there's a lot of kid-friendly activities on that side of the mall, and so we were excited, excited to be among those in that area, but also just excited to be in the Fredericksburg area. So.
Absolutely. Are you seeing like what age group do you think tends to come into the clockade?
So that was very interesting because when I started going to Clawcades, I would go in on like a Wednesday afternoon, school was in session, and there would be like 20 adults playing all of these claw games. And so we thought that it was going to skew younger, but it really is teens and adults that really have a majority of the play share. So we everybody thinks that arcade is probably for kids, but really it's teens and adults that gravitate towards that kind of that style of gaming. So
And it's also interesting because your arcade is not the old-fashioned thing where you're just feeding quarters into a machine the whole time. How does it work? Give us a little rundown with that.
yeah, so the claw arcade rooms are a little different than a traditional arcade. One, we're all claw games, so when you go in there, it's all going to be games of skill where you're trying to grab plush with a claw, or there's some other games that you can play that'll give you merchandise, big huge stuffed animals or Pokemon cards or something like that, blind boxes. But the main majority of the games are going to be claw games. And when you come in, you're going to get a card just like Dave and Buster's or Funland. You're going to put credits on the card. It's 20 cents for every credit. So basically 5 credits for $1. The more you spend, the more credits you're going to get as kind of a bonus. And then you just tap that card on the games to activate it and then play the game. Once you win the plush, first of all, we have the machine set so you're going to win a lot of stuff. Like we want people to walk away winners. That's the whole point of the room. So if you go to other places, the claw games are usually harder to play and it's harder to get stuff out of them. Here, we want people to walk away with bags full of stuff. And so we have that. Also, all of the games have a star value on them. So when you're playing them, you'll see maybe it'll have 200 stars or 400 stars. Those star values mean that you can take the plush that you win from that machine and trade it in to us for stars or tickets. And then you can upgrade if you earn enough to get maybe a bigger stuffed animal, or some candy from the redemption counter, or even an Xbox or a Switch. So you have the ability to earn stuffed animals, trade them in for points, and then use those points to get bigger stuff.
And the prizes that you mentioned, the Xbox and some of these larger stuffed animals, the Switch, it seems like your prizes, unlike a lot of other places, are on trend. Like they are what my kids walk by and they go, ooh, a giant Snorlax or
Yep.
Pikachu. You're
Yep.
hitting the right prizes for, I think, today's kids.
The team that I've built is amazing. They are obsessed with Pokemon. They know what kids want. They know the industry. So we've got Labubus in there. We've got Asian blind boxes, all kinds of different blind boxes in our over the edge machine. Of course, we have candy, and the candy is all high end candy. So I say it's like $1 or more per piece. So you're not getting silly Tootsie Rolls or anything like that. And yeah, we really want to gravitate towards what people want and what people want to walk away with. So, unlike a traditional claw, arcade, they might not change their merchandise out. Maybe once a year, they'll be like, okay, we need something
Yeah.
new. Our Since we have 48 different machines or 48 different play fields, every week we're flipping play fields, so we have new plush on the play fields, because we want people to keep coming back and seeing all the new different variations of plush, and try to win it and trade up and get something bigger and better.
That's great. I like the idea of refreshing it because there's nothing worse than going to the same place and they always have the same things. The Tootsie Roll that you mentioned, the little plastic frogs that jump when you push on them.
The
Just,
finger
the stuff that,
traps.
yeah, yeah. So I like the idea that you guys are changing it up and you're keeping it fresh every time because that's going to get, the kids are going to want to come back. The teenagers are going to want to come back and see what's new.
Yeah, yeah, and we also have some cool like side games too that we're able to play. So all of the claw games are linked together so that we can play what we call mini games. And one of the mini games, our most popular mini game, is called the tapping game. And everybody gets to a claw. It's free to play. It counts down on the TV screens above. And once it gets to zero, you have 15 seconds to tap as fast as you can. And the person who taps the most in the 15 seconds gets 2 free plays on that game. So we just have some fun mini games like that. Those are also great for birthday parties because we are doing birthday parties at Planet Novak. So when we do a birthday party, we can have those like side games for the birthday kids to go up and play as well. So we're having a lot of fun with it.
I'd like to talk about the birthday party idea. If you're having a special event, do you guys essentially close the doors? It's just the private event for some amount of time?
So we're not allowed to close the doors during mall hours. So we always have to be open to the general public when the mall is open, and we obviously can't be open if the mall's not. So we have a center like lounge area where we have some pretty orange couches and some furniture there, and that's kind of our gathering place for our birthday parties right now. So we set you up there. That's your own little area, but the public can still come in and play the games and enjoy the Planet Novak experience.
And then what are your standard operating hours? Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
It's all when the mall is open. So that can differ. Holiday hours, obviously, for November and December, it's all over the place because the retail aspect of the mall really controls the hours.
Hmm.
Um, but once we get into I would say the normal groove, it's usually like 10 a.m. To 9 p.m. On weekdays. And then I think some days it's like 11 to 6, a very short day.
Gotcha. So I have to ask the obvious question here. When you were growing up, did you spend a lot of time in arcade?
I did not. No, I spent a lot of time at amusement parks. So
Okay.
I would go to amusement parks. I am obsessed with amusement parks. Anytime I am not working, I am at King's Dominion or Busch Gardens, and being now part of the industry and running Funland and building the rides and attractions we did there. It just makes me appreciate it all that much more. So I love going to Disney. I love going to Florida, just traveling all over, going to amusement parks. But now that I've worked at Funland, I've become mildly obsessed with arcades and seeing what people are doing.
Yeah.
I'm considered an industry expert because of my knowledge in family entertainment centers, and so just knowing what games to put in, what plush to put in, what vendors to buy from, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff is just kind of all up in here. And we build the right team to help us get all of that stuff into the Planet Novak experience.
So you mentioned Funland, and of course now with your arcade. What else do you think we need in the greater Fredericksburg area? What else do we need that will be something that's appealing to kids, to teenagers, to adults even? What do you envision? What would you love to have come here?
Well, so we have lost two bowling alleys in the area, and bowling has kind of an old stigma to it. So we have AMF, which is an older style of
Mhm.
bowling. We have the Hookie, which was previously Paragon, which has bowling in the movie theater there. Um, but we don't have any of the new style string bowling with the projection lanes. So that would think would be something that would be really cool to have in the Fredericksburg area. We're really lucky because there's not a lot of places that have a facility like Funland.
Yeah.
Funland is actually really big for the Fredericksburg market. Usually you would only find those style of go karts and arcade and the amount of attractions that Funland has at a place like the beach or Florida, the Orlando corridor,
Mhm.
I Drive. So to have that big of a family entertainment center right smack dab in the middle of Central Park is actually a pretty big thing for Fredericksburg.
Hmm. I hadn't thought of that before, but I do agree with you that we don't have the modernized bowling alley. It's really still the same, what is that, 80s style, 90s style?
I would probably go even further than that. It's probably like 60s, 70s style. So, and I would, I know there's a lot of pushback with the new style of bowling because it's more social. It's more kind of like Top Golf. You don't have to know how to bowl to go and do this new style of bowling. But leagues and stuff like to push back on that because they're like, well, we want it to stay traditional, but the traditional aspect of bowling is not popular. So, do you want to take your 8 year old to a birthday party to a bowling alley? It's like probably not. But if it was cool and had projections and all that kind of stuff, then and there was mini games in the bowling experience, then you'll probably want to do birthday parties there. And so, a lot of places have started adapting that new style of bowling, and FECs have been opening up with that style of bowling. So that's something I think the area is probably missing right now, but I wouldn't
Hmm.
be. I bet you in the next 2 years we see something like that pop up.
I'm going to take you up on that bet. We're going to follow up with you in 2 years and see what it looks like. Well, I
Deal.
want to thank you. I think it's so cool that you guys have taken the plunge and you've opened up a new family-friendly event activity space right inside the mall. So it's convenient to
Yeah.
get to. There's something for all ages. And what you're offering is just a great way to spend time with your family.
Yeah, and we're actually looking to branch out a little bit from there as well. So we're looking at starting to put our games into the lobbies of like restaurants and like pizza places. So we're looking for businesses that are interested in doing a profit share model where we bring our games and put them in there. But the difference is, you've already seen games like that, maybe at like Walmart or the movie theater. You go in there and you'll see two or three games. And the game, the stuff that's in the claw, first of all, nobody wants. It's like stuffed animals that are, not great, and they're hard to win. And so we want to take the same model that we have there and put them into local businesses where we could come every day and fill those machines up and make sure that they're still paying out high and people are winning and people are enjoying it, and have that tied to that Planet Novak experience. So
That's a great idea because the thing that drives me nuts is when you go to restaurants and there's a little, I don't know what to call it, a tablet thing
mhm.
sitting on there and it's flashing games. They want you to get your kid to stop having the family dinner time and
Yeah,
start playing on the little electric thing. I would be much
yep,
happier saying you get $2,
yep.
go play, and then you come back and then we have that, quality time.
There you
So
go.
that's a much better option to me than those little tablets they put on. If I could just be like, go get yourself a prize and come back.
Yeah, and our games are very bright. We're very well lit, colorful. So we want to, make sure that everything's clean and fancy and just really looks new in those environments. Because I think that's something that we're missing in the area as well. It's just that the high payout machines that are just very bright and clean with
Mm.
stuff that we want in them.
Right, you don't want the dusty rubber duck that's been sitting
No,
there
no,
for five.
we want
Yeah,
some Mario. We want some capybaras in there, some axolotls. We want to have some fun with it.
absolutely. Well, Clint, thank you so much for coming into the spotlight with me to talk about your new arcade. For anybody who's listening, if you haven't popped by the Spotsylvania Towne Centre Mall lately, make sure you come in and check out Planet Novak. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
joining me, Clint. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye.